All right, good morning, everyone. Today is Wednesday, August 13th. I believe we're at day 12 of our grade 11 college math class. So you should always check the course outline to figure out what's due. Since today is Wednesday, August 13th, you have a quiz on section 4.1 and a unit 4 summative task that will be due tomorrow, but you can start it today. So I've been giving you guys an extra day. I don't know if you've noticed on these assignments and quizzes. So that way there will be no more second chances. So if you come to me and email me at almost can I please, do something like you had 48 hours to do this. So if you're busy one day, you could have done the next day. So that's on you. So if you miss any assessments, the final mark of 0 is staying. Second, I had emails from certain students asking me to do work that was due from last week. That's an absolute no. Term 1 work was due last week, and we cannot go back and open anything from term 1. So anything from unit 1, 2, or the first 2 quizzes of unit 3, that's completely locked down. And to be honest, everything has now been made in such a way that you cannot go back and redo anything. You have to submit it while it's due. And if you're having any issues, that's the whole point, to come during class or email me during the day. And during the day means before 3:30 p.m. If you email me at like 10 p.m., 11 p.m., midnight, that doesn't count as you emailing me during the day. If you email me on Saturday or Sunday, once again, that doesn't count because I'm not working those days. So you have to wait till Monday for me to respond. So just something that you should be aware. Just because you email me something doesn't mean you're going to get a response within 5 minutes. That being said, most of you are, doing relatively well and submitting your work. Some of you aren't, and your mark reflects that. So if your mark is very poor, it's your responsibility. Second thing, the last day to drop a course is August 19th. So you still have a few days to figure that out. Wait, August 19th, what day of the week is that? Hold on, is that right? I guess it's a Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday, yeah. So next week, Tuesday, that means if you know your mark, which everyone should know your mark, all marks are visible, you should make a decision whether you want to stay in the course or not. So think about it. If you're failing, and the course is pretty much over by August 19th. So you have all the information you need. The only thing I think remaining after August 19th is the final, quote unquote, exam or culminating activity. So other than that, all the tests and all the quizzes should have been marked and everything should be updated. So by August 19th, you should have pretty much your close to final mark, excluding like 1 or 2 assignments, to make that decision. So if you're failing right now, don't worry. We still have a bunch of quizzes and assignments that are due. Try your best to submit them. Do well on them, and then yeah. Actually, we don't have too much. I just checked. We only have 1 quiz and the 2 assignments now. The course is almost over. Course is almost over. Yeah. That's pretty fast. That's amazing. Okay. Let's get started now. Session 12, interest. What does that have to do with anything? Let's see. Today's agenda, we have minds on activity, learning goals, success criteria, simple interest, compound interest, today's work, and then a bunch of questions. Minds on saving for retirement already. We are going to be learning how to calculate simple interest and calculate compound interest. Success criteria, we're going to describe the differences between simple and compound interest, and we're going to use a TVM solver. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. We'll figure it out. Simple interest, what is it? Simple interest simple interest is paid at the end of the term and is calculated on the original principal. It is calculated using the formula I is equal to P times R times T. These are just a bunch of letters. What do these letters mean? Well, if you look closely at the bottom there, I is your simple interest. P is the principal or money invested. R is the annual or yearly interest rate expressed as a decimal. And T is the time expressed in years. Okay, so simple interest is pretty straightforward. Most students don't have issues with this one. It's the other one that's really hard. So example 1, an investment of $3,500 is made for 9 months at 5.4% interest per year. How much simple interest will the investment earn? So let's see. We have an investment of $3,500. That is your principal, that's P. R, your interest is 5.4%, and you have to convert it into a decimal. And they're saying years. No, it doesn't say years, but it says 9 months. So time has to be in years. That's the kind of one of the more important things. How can I convert 9 months into years? Well, I know that that there's 12 months in a year. So this is going to be 9 over 12. So that is time. Time is equal to 9 over 12. R is going to be not 5.4, but 5.4 divided by 100. Because that's how you convert a percent into a decimal. Which is going to be 0.054. And 9 over 12 can also be written as decimal. It doesn't really matter. What you could quickly do in your calculator is 0.75 or 3/4. And P was 3,500. So let's calculate this. I is equal to 3,500 times 0.054 times 0.75. Let's do that. $141.75. When it comes to these money calculations, you always keep 2 decimal places, because that's what a real-world application would look like. So $141.75. That's how much interest is going to be made or earned. And yeah, that's the answer here. So it's pretty straightforward. Simple interest isn't that difficult. Here we have another example. An investment of $12,000 is made for 456 days at 3.2% interest per year. How much will the investment be worth when it matures? So this terminology, when it matures, it just means that after the time that they gave. So after 456 days, how much money is made? So once again, interest is equal to principal, which is 12,000, times, now the rate is 3.2%, but we know that that's written in percentage and we need to convert it into a decimal. If you're not sure, this dot signifies multiplication. So we can show multiplication using X, using 2 brackets, connected to each other. You can also use a dot. That's also another form of showing multiplication. It's a dot. And 456 days. Our time has to be in years. So we need to convert that into a fraction or a decimal. And we know that there are 365 days in a year. So this is slightly over a year. So let's figure that out. First thing I'm going to do is convert that into a decimal. 456 divided by 365. We get roughly and try to keep as many decimal places as possible when it comes to this. You only round in the final part of your answer. Otherwise, you try to keep as many decimals to be as accurate as possible. Now, some calculators can save all those decimal points, so I recommend learning how to use the calculator. So I'm going to do this right now. 456 divided by 365 is that big, giant, long number of 1.249315068. Then times that by 0.032, then times that by 12,000, and I get an interest of $479.74. I rounded up there. That's the answer. 479.74. Oh no. 479.62. You know where that error came from? This here. If you keep only 3 decimal places, 479.62, 479.74, the difference is in the cents. Obviously, if you're talking about more money, like $1 million, the difference is going to be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So that's why it's important to keep as many decimal places as possible, because we don't want people losing money. Even though right now in this example it's only a couple of cents, hey, it's still their money. So be as accurate as possible. Do not round off, because you could be marked wrong if you don't keep all your decimal places. So this is wrong. I did that to show you the rounding error. All right, but I'm going to keep it the same so I can remember to do that again. All right. Compound interest. What is it? Compound interest. It is simple interest. Is calculated only on the original principal and is paid at the end of the term. So simple interest, basically you calculate interest once and that's it. It's very simple. Compound interest, the interest is calculated and then immediately added to the principal before the next interest earning period begins. This newly added... Okay, so compound interest, the newly added interest will itself earn interest. As a result, the principal keeps growing after each interest calculation. What does this mean? Basically, compound interest, just so you know, this is how the world works. I don't think anyone uses simple interest anymore. So when it comes to like loans, bank loans, credit cards, mortgages, anything to do with money and interest in this day and age, it's most likely going to be doing compound interest. Now, compound interest is a few different things. This is the hard one, so pay attention. This whole concept is pretty tricky. So compounding period refers to the length of time between interest calculations. There are different compounding periods available. So there's compounded annually, which is the easiest, and interest is calculated at the end of every year, so just once a year. There's compounded semi-annually, where interest is calculated at the end of every half year or every 6 months, so like twice a year. There's compounded quarterly. Interest is calculated at the end of every quarter or every 3 months in a year, so that's every 3 months, so that's 4 times a year. There's compounded monthly. Interest is calculated at the end of every month. That means that's 12 times a year. There's compounded weekly. Interest is calculated at the end of every week, so that's 52 times a year. And then there's compounded daily, and its interest is calculated at the end of every day. That's 365 times a year. These numbers that I'm giving you are important because we will get to the math of it. So here, this is exactly what I was just saying. Annually is interest calculated once a year, and then semi-annually twice, 4, 12, 52, and then 365. Here we have compound interest. This is the form